In 2025, will 5 handicap Bobby be changing his driver? Rob, how are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Good. Rob, so today we've got your golf bag. We're going to do a couple of videos about what's in here because it's really, really interesting to see just what clubs you are using. And for me, I've not been using this camera for quite some time, so I find it quite difficult. But I think it's really interesting to see what's in Rob's bag, to see what clubs he's using, and potentially to see just what could be going on in here. So let's kick off with, we're going to do a video with your driver today because the driver is a really, really interesting club in everybody's bag, probably the most interesting club. Now, talk us through this, talk us through how it came about, and talk us through what you're thinking, because we do have a little bit of a secret in here to go through today, but I'm not, will you be spending any more money this year?
Oh no.
We're there straight away. Let's talk through the reasonings then.
I've had this probably a year now,
yeah,
and it still looks brand new. It will have been nearly 1 year exactly.
Pretty much a year, yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. I don't really see the need to change it, to be honest.
So with it being Qi10, it's not this year's All Singing All Dancing Qi35,
no,
but it does have the speed pocket, it has the inertia generator, it has that carbon blue face, it has that lovely infinity crown. I think it's a really, really nice looking club.
I like it.
Now, thinking about, let's hit one with that, and then we're going to hit a couple with the new Qi35. That's the core model as well. And if we have a look at the differences in that Qi35, it's quite interesting because there's one big difference, isn't there?
There's one huge difference.
Could that be enough to make you change? Because it's not enough to make Rory change yet.
If Rory's not changing.
It's a really interesting debate, isn't it, that? Because my video with Rory did really, really well. Are you looking for the right tee peg?
Do you know what tee I've got?
Go on.
Matches my hat.
Oh, wow. Look at that guy.
I probably shouldn't use that, actually.
Have you been to Bethpage?
Ignore that one. I like that one better.
Yeah, because you actually hit a shot there, didn't you?
I did hit a shot there.
Yeah. Anyone wondering why the camera work is so bad today? It's me. I apologise. I don't know how this... We've got a gimbal. I don't know how it works at all.
You do know how it works.
I don't at all.
You're doing all right.
You know when I take the mic out of you and then I'm over here and you're talking?
You're doing well.
But guys, hit that subscribe button.
Please.
Please.
Please. I'm not kidding.
Bobby's just had a very expensive weekend.
2 expensive weekends. Stag doing Shane Gillis.
But I meant the house.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, that's not cost me anything yet.
Right, Qi10, fitted in his specs.
I love the look of it down at the ball.
Yeah. For the first swing of the day, that's outrageous.
I mean, I can't hit a better drive than that.
No. Have you sneakily had a warm-up this morning?
I haven't.
Because that's frighteningly good.
I haven't, because that hurt. I got to the top and I went, ow.
So let's have a look at the Qi35 as well then, because if we compare them together, this won't be the first comparison video people have probably watched, but I certainly feel like it's going to help just kind of show what the key differences are. Now, from this area, I think that looks really, really good.
The thing that I don't like is the colour. I don't like the grey head. I never liked any of the white heads.
Yeah.
And I don't like the grey head. I like this because it reminds me of my Titleist 913 driver I had, which was my favourite driver.
Yeah.
Because I just like a normal black head.
How do I point this down, Bob? Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, it does look, it looks a lot more futuristic, the Qi35, doesn't it?
That I don't like. I don't like the look of it. I don't know why.
Doesn't fill you with joy or confidence.
If that was that colour, like they've done that as a special edition, haven't they?
Yeah,
where it's all black.
Yeah.
And it looks beautiful.
Would you see yourself buying the special edition one?
No, because that sounds expensive. And I don't really see the point.
Does sound expensive, doesn't it?
Yeah,
right,
I love that.
Let's see the Qi35. Okay. So this is the LS version, but the standard version, which we do have in the car, does feature those movable weights, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, you can move the weights
around.
I
think shelf appeal looks really good from that angle.
It does look good. I think it looks cool. But it's just the look, for me, the look down at the ball is everything. I don't really care what it looks like on the bottom because you don't really see it, do you?
No. You're really challenging me with this. There we go.
Sorry. For me, it's down at the ball, and I don't like that look.
I love the head shape of that, and I think
I like the head shape, and I like, is that the infinity crown?
Yeah.
I love that. I think that looks mint. But if that was black, it'd be perfect.
Mint is a colloquialism for good, by the way, here in Yorkshire.
Oh yeah, sorry.
But also, I think personally, the new shape of the standard version, which we'll put on screen now, it's probably a bit too big.
Yeah, it does feel very big.
Because they've gone off the shape of the Max, haven't they, rather than the normal shape.
Yeah, it feels like the Max did when I tried it in the fitting a year ago.
Whereas I think this shape's a lot more similar to last year's standard version, which is why we've got it today.
It feels nice, like it doesn't... But it's just the look thing. You know, if something doesn't look right, like I always hated drivers that would sit open. You know, when you lay them down and then they do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to use it.
Because you like hitting a bit of a draw, don't you, as
yeah.
well?
So that had just put me off entirely. I feel like I'd had to change my swing.
Wow, then you go and hit that. And
Could I paint it black?
The cat is well amongst the pigeons there, isn't it?
I mean,
they're
yeah, I've
two
nailed
fantastic drives, by the way.
Thanks.
We do keep Bobby hidden quite. Look at this. I've just done the reverse thing.
Oh,
we keep
wow.
Bobby hidden quite a lot on camera, but he's a really, really, really good golfer. So props to him, because realistically,
Oh, thank you.
you're all right, are you?
Yeah,
I've just reversed that camera twice.
You've done really well there.
Thanks.
You're doing well. That sounds really like patronising.
Yeah, thanks, boss.
I don't mean it that
Cheers,
way.
mate. Right, Bobby's back on camera for a minute, so it's going to be a lot smoother. That is honestly unbelievable, isn't it? Look how close together they are. That's absolutely ridiculous.
I'm happy with them.
Yeah, and I'm not even going to say for a second that realistically there's a difference there, because obviously how they've bound. For them to be that close, you joke about throwing a blanket over them. You could almost throw a tea towel over them. That's frighteningly good. And I feel like I'm making this about me, so give me that, because what are your thoughts on them two?
They didn't move in the air, did they?
No, they were very
dead
good.
Straight, which I'm happy with. I try and hit like a little 1 yard draw because I just see it better with my eyes.
Let's get on the next tee, because I'm really interested to see potentially just if we can get one that's got any more difference to it than those two we've just hit. So, just for the sake of argument, we've been back and we've got, show them what we've got, Bobby.
Oh, wrong one.
This one.
It was one of two.
Yeah, we've got the core head just to have a go with, because I think it is important that we do make sure we're testing like for like and apples for apples. So any comments out there can be squashed. But straight away, I think
it just looks massive.
It does look big. I think that's part of what TaylorMade have gone for though, because what they've tried to do this year is lower the spin rate of them, but also enhance MOI. So you're kind of getting that low spin whilst getting the forgiveness.
Yeah.
So it's not that they've not done it just for the sake of changing the aesthetic. They've done it for the sake of...
Maybe it's not, you know, a lot bigger. You know, if I put mine on top.
Yeah, the footprint isn't... It's a bit bigger, isn't it?
All right, when I put mine on top, I can see a little bit of the grey, but when I put this on top, I can't see any of mine.
Very scientific way of doing that, Rob.
I mean, it's not entirely accurate.
No, it was sarcasm as well, so... Where you go with first?
Qi35. Do you like it?
I do, yeah. I think for 90% of TaylorMade's target audience, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But I can see why Rory hasn't moved into it.
Yeah. I mean, we've sold quite a few in the shop.
Yeah.
Like they have done well and everyone really likes it, which is good.
Not bad, a little bit heely.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right-hand
well,
side.
very heely, but it's done all right because of it.
What are your thoughts on the move? Because I think the big difference here is that movable weight. Like if we look at the soles of them again,
Yeah.
the movable weight element, I think, and I'm massively taking my hat off to TaylorMade for that, because having that in the core driver is huge.
I mean, maybe, yeah, if I got fitted for this, the numbers might end up being a lot better than mine.
How important are the numbers though? That's the thing. I know they are obviously important.
Well, they are important, but again, it's a confidence thing, isn't it, when you look down at it? Because if you could hit 1 out of 10, you know, incredible.
Do you think they just
9?
absolutely knocked it out of the park with the Qi10?
I think so, yeah.
Because I almost disagree with you a bit with the Qi35 that's looking really lonely sat down there. I like it, but I do, having tested it against Qi10 recently in the Rory McIlroy video, I think the Qi10 is so good.
Oh, it's so good. I think it's amazing.
It was such a step up from the Stealth, wasn't it?
Yeah. I love the sound of it as well. I mean, they both sound, I think, the same, but this sounded better.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I think Qi10's a bit of a higher pitch one.
This sounds better than the Stealth anyway, I think.
Great shot.
That noise, I love it.
And I do think Stealth, they were kind of just edged into the carbon age, whereas now the 3-4 generations in.
Yeah.
So one of the obvious factors to talk about, maybe if you were going to change your drive this year as well, Rob, is the financial aspect. Because...
It's a huge aspect.
Yeah, I mean, they're not cheap anymore, are they? Not that last year's was cheap, but is it 529 now, realistically?
I think so. For the LS, yeah, I think it's 529.
Is it a little bit more than the standard one? Come on then, should we go Qi35 first this time and just see what...
that's a good
I'll do
idea.
the one for you if
Thank you.
No problem at all. Just multitasking, aren't I?
You are.
I can see how hard you work now. This is quite... it's quite a lot.
Just down the left.
Yeah, it's in the pond, I think.
Oh, is it?
Big splash.
Thanks for letting me use your balls.
No, it's fine, mate, no problem. Do you think you hit that with this? And again, the big thing here is, if you don't like the look of the core model and you have to go into the LS to get a model you like the look of, I know it's an interesting one because obviously the look of a driver isn't the be-all and end-all, but,
no, but
we have this discussion a lot with people in the comments, don't we?
But like I say, it's huge for me down at the ball. If I look down and I think, I can't draw this, then that's a big problem for me, which I do struggle with a little bit with that LS version with the Qi35.
I don't know what I've done there.
This down at the ball, I don't feel like I can draw it as well.
I personally feel like the LS and the Qi35 is a gorgeous head shape.
Yeah, it is. It's a really nice shape. I think it's just the colour that puts me off. I know the weighting system's great and the adjustment's brill, but for what I need as well, mine's fine. I don't need to change mine, I don't feel like.
No, and I think it's a very interesting one because realistically, TaylorMade aren't making drivers for people to chop in and out of every year. I don't think any of the big brands are doing that. They're making drivers potentially for people who have got a couple of generations old driver and then they're thinking of moving out of that potentially. I think that's exactly what the brands are trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, I just love the way this sits.
Basically, anywhere other than the pond and you're one up with your driver, aren't you?
I am. But the last one didn't feel bad. I've obviously just pulled
tweaked it a bit.
Yeah, I've just pulled it.
Would Mrs. Bobby kill you if you spent £500 on a new driver?
Yeah, Bobby wouldn't be going to work on Monday.
That's interesting. That's two balls gone.
That's even worse. Well, that started off so well.
But you know what? I'm not from a sense of banter, but I'm really pleased you've done that because how consistent do you need to be?
Very clearly.
A lot of people will have watched those first shots you hit, tuned out because you're quite boring, and then thought you're one of the best golfers ever. So they won't have even seen them.
No, wait for the next shots. Might even top one.
So to be honest, I do think it's interesting because you look at Bobby's bag here, and it is quite a kind of frugal bag. Like we've still got SM9 wedges, we've got Tacoma
What do you mean
irons.
still? I've only just got them.
What
do you mean still?
But it's not a bag of like, I think, what driver were you using before you got fitted for the Qi10?
I did have a Stealth too, but I didn't really like it that much, to be honest, because I didn't get fitted for it.
Bearing in mind you work in the industry as well, not just with me, but you work in a pro shop as well, so you do kind of get deals and stuff, don't you?
Yeah,
but
and that's why I got the Stealth too.
Yeah.
But I didn't get fitted for it. I bought the wrong driver, and then I ended up changing it after a year because I bought the wrong driver and it didn't work for me. Before that, I had a...
Titleist?
I used to have a Titleist, then I had an M2. But I didn't like it. Like I never got on with it, which is why I used to hit my driving iron off every single tee.
Because that's an old beast, isn't it, that one?
Yeah, that's mint, that is so good.
With the cloak
I really, really like that. That's probably my favourite club in my bag, actually.
We don't know what's in the bag, actually, so this is probably ruining all that, but we'll cover this base in another video. Because I think this is the best way to test drivers as well. You know, like come out on the golf course and potentially just hit them. I know it's nice to be in a simulator, it's nice to see numbers, but
that's why I always ask to, whatever you're testing, that's why I always like to have a go with it, just so I know. Yeah. Plus it helps as well when people come in the shop and go, oh, have you had a go with this? And I can say yes or no.
Yeah. Going to be an interesting year for TaylorMade with this, because when I first saw it, I was a little bit like, not so sure. And then to be honest, it's grown on me massively. And I do think especially the LS looks really, really nice. I love the black face. I think that looks fantastic. But like you said, I don't know, I missed the gloss on top, I think it is.
Yeah, it just looks a bit more traditional. I think for some people it's great. And it's, you know, there's no glare off it or anything.
I can't wait to see what mini driver we get from them, because that's always the superstar for me of the year. Nice.
And then just hit that.
It's a really nice trajectory that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's ballooning at all. It kind of just feels like it's maintaining its height.
Bounding down the fairway.
Bounding down there.
Came bounding over.
Came bounding over, thank you.
If on a simulator, the Qi35 did perform miles better for you than Qi10, would you? The thing is, are you even in the market for your driver, or do you just think that? Because I think Rory speaks volumes about it, doesn't he?
But it's all right doing it like on the simulator and on the range and stuff. But if I still come out here and I put it down and go, and you just lose a bit of confidence, or you know, don't feel as confident.
All of a sudden you're in the trees, aren't you?
Yeah, and then I just feel like you change your swing then to manipulate it, because it doesn't look like doesn't look bad, obviously. It's a really nice looking club. I prefer the all black traditional look of a driver. Because Rory moves into them, doesn't he, eventually?
Yeah, usually quicker than this. He's usually in it for the Masters.
Yeah.
That's not your best.
No.
And I think, to be fair, categorically, he said he's not moving into it until after. I mean, he needs to win the Masters, doesn't he, for his career?
Yeah.
I think for him to feel like his career's... I think he's had a fantastic career anyway. But how do you sum... Oh, look at that. I'm sorry I've looked at you that dirty. How do you sum that up?
I think it's just proved my point that I know I hit 2 terrible ones on the one before, but I just feel so much more confident with that looking down at it, at the ground, compared to that. And I know I've said it a few times, but I think it's everything. If you can put something down and go, oh yeah, I can hit a shot with that. Whereas I think the LS is just, I don't think I'm good enough to use the LS because I hit the LS in the Qi10 terrible. Now, this looks better than the Qi10 LS, but I just
But the Qi35 standard one is a little bit chunky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's too chunky. Whereas this, the one that I've got at the minute, it's just perfect. It sits perfect. I know it's set up for me because I got fitted for it. So I'd just like to keep this, to be honest.
Bobby, thank you ever so much for your time.
Thank you.
I'll see you on the next video.
See you in the next one. Please subscribe.
Bye.
Please. Please.